welcome back to episode 32 of the MAINcast, presented by the Maine and the City of Santa Clarita. My name is Calliope, and I'm one of the co-hosts of the festival. The MAINcast Interview show is part of all of the online shows we do here at the Maine, and for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be featuring plays within the One Story, One City Festival in conjunction with the Santa Clarita Public Library, and this year's theme is food. So this week we have a fan favorite, a special edition of Theater in a Week titled The Good, the Bad, and the Hungry, presented by Off Book Theater, written by Barry Agin. The event will start at 7 p.m. PST this Friday night on Zoom, where audiences will get to participate in the talkback after the show, but it will also be on Facebook Live if we hit the maximum capacity on Zoom. Today we have a few cast and crew members from Theater in a Week, so can I please have our lovely guests arrive?
Hello.
Hi.
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 How are you?
Excellent.
Good.
Hi.
So can I please have you all introduce yourself and say your role in the show?
I'm Barry Agin. I'm the creator, writer, producer, chief bottle washer for Theater in a Week.
I'm Nancy Lantis, and I was lucky enough to direct the Oedipus Rex, one of the shows.
And I'm Felicia Sheppard. I directed It's All French to Me.
And I'm Mia Zumsteg, and I'm one of the actresses.
Wonderful. So it's awesome to have you all here. Can you please talk a little bit about your show?
Sure. It's people have been familiar with Theater in a Week. We've done it several times at the Maine now, live, and then of course because of the pandemic, we've been have the great opportunity to do it on Zoom. This time it's called Special Edition because we're trying a few things a little different. First of all, as you mentioned, the food theme. Each one of the 5 shows is a standalone, independent cast, director, plot, but this time we have a little thread, a little thing tying them all together, and that's that they all take place at the same location, which is a local restaurant that keeps failing and changing hands. So every time a new show comes up, you have a new staff, new customers, new problems, hopefully funny problems, and so that's a theme we have for it this time. Also, one of the big things we're trying this time to avoid the internet glitches, for the first time, we're trying live pre-recording on Zoom for the show, which was edited together by Nancy and Phil Lantis. That will
Mostly Phil Lantis.
What did I say?
Well, you said Nancy and Phil Lantis, but credit where credit is due.
Okay. Nancy had nothing to do with it. It was Phil Lantis that put it all together.
Unless it's brilliant, and then.
If you like it, Nancy did it. If you have any problems, give Phil a call. But and it'll live stream on Friday at the show. So we're excited about a new aspect of trying different things. Everybody's staying creative.
Mm-hmm. So we're doing this show as part of One Story, One City. And again, this year's theme is food. Barry, can you talk about your writing process, fitting that theme, and then also accommodating this online format?
Well, they gave me the theme on it, and I hit on the restaurant theme, and as most of them, I've written all of them just recently, and that's some of the things that are the same. The actors and directors just short time ago got their scripts, saw it for the first time. Everybody went off on their own, created their individual play, and then we had one meeting together, and then now we're putting it all together for the show on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else want to talk about their process, like with the writing, directing the writing?
I find Barry's writing just very easy to work with, especially for the scene I was doing, which was kind of like a modern rom-com type thing. Just the characters are right there on the page. They are well-rounded, they are full, they've got lots of personality, and it was just really easy. I was lucky with my actors too, but the writing, I think we changed a name. That was pretty much it. He was like, "Can I be called this instead?" I'm like, "Sure." But everything else just really fit right into place. It was very easy to direct.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Nancy. This is my second time doing a Theater in a Week, and his writing is so good. The funny is all there. I really believe that he pick actors that when he writes them, he might have certain actors in mind because he hits it right on the spot, and the funny is there. The energy is there. It is just amazing. I love working with Barry, and I like working with his writing because his scripts are funny, and it just elevates it. Even though it's on Zoom, it is definitely elevated because it's still funny. So come hungry.
Who doesn't like working with Barry? Everybody loves Barry.
This guy right here doesn't.
Yeah, those guys, man. And I'll return the compliment that this one, even more than a lot of them, the director's individual stamp and vision is on each show, because they have complete reign to make any changes they want to make, and they all did a fantastic job with their cast. That's another great thing about this whole theater in the week format, is that you get A-list directors and A-list actors, because you're only asking them for a week, 10 days, whatever, to get the whole thing done. You're not committing to a 3-month run for a show, that type of thing. So everybody's got a week. People have other things going on in life. They have, kids in school and have their priorities all mixed up instead of being in the theater all the time. but it also brings out the best. There's no weak link, maybe me, but other than that, there's no weak link in the entire group.
Barry, you are the group. You are the strongest group, because you are the writer. You give us some good material. So when you have good material, it just makes doing what we do as directors and actors that much easier, to be honest with you. That's
you.
the bottom line.
Yeah, definitely. So it has officially been a year since we've been doing online shows. Nancy and Felicia, you've both directed or acted in multiple plays across the year. Can you talk about how your directing or acting approaches have changed since then, and like what new things you've tried this time around?
Felicia?
I was gonna let you do that one first. Well, I will say it has been a year, and Zoom is, I had never heard of it before all this happened. So it gives you an outlet. It's not the outlet that we want and we crave being on stage, but it gives you an outlet to be creative, to do it in the box. So you have to look at it like it's like you're still doing it, but you're just doing it with a camera, and everybody's in a really small box. So you have to look at it from that perspective. But with Gary's show, Census Theater in a Week, you are telling your actors to do things that you wouldn't tell until like maybe 3 or 4 weeks into the rehearsal process, but you're letting them know the first 2 days. And then you also want to make sure when they're moving their hand from one screen to another screen that looks seamless. And I think I'm like a pro at that, because I'm like a nut in making sure it looks seamless. Barry's like, please, you don't need rehearsal every day. I'm like, it needs to be seamless so that it just, it suspends the imagination that they're in the same room. And that's what I was trying to convey. So, and even being on the directing side feeds a part of me that I like, and seeing how I like images to come together so they tell a really good story and what the people do, because it's all about up here. And then as an actor, is the same thing. You want to get into the character and portray that, so they're not looking at Felicia, they're looking at this character, whatever character she's in. Although you have to change it to this and this, it's still acting, but from a different perspective. So I'm okay with it, but I can't wait till the theaters open up.
I was lucky enough I worked on something with Barry that he wrote specifically for Zoom that was about the different types of communicating through the ages, starting with the telephone to Zooming with your friends. So it was specifically written for that. And then I directed my husband's show for Eclipse Theater LA, which was Casserole, which we also really leaned into the Zoom format, which was a family meeting on Zoom. So everybody looking into the camera or having to deal with the limitations of Zoom really played into that. But I am not a huge fan. I miss enacting on it. I miss the connection. I mean, you just can't have that. I miss the connection with the audience. It's just different. It's, as Felicia says, we're just dealing with film now, basically. And so I really wanted to try something different with this one. You experiment, some things work, some things don't, but that's what it's all about. So you hope you entertain at the same time. And I'm kind of a performance slut. So I will pretty much, if I'm asked, I'll do it. I don't know if that's family. Is that okay? I just said that? All right. So it's hard to say no, it's you want to do it, you want to perform, you want to entertain, you want to reach people. And so if this is the format we've been given, I've watched a little bit at each of the scenes, and I'm just super excited that everybody has kind of had that same collective thought, like, let's take this to another level. Let's try something else. So again, some things will work, some things won't, but history is, thousands, if not millions of years old. And we're not, standing in front of a fire anymore, posing shadows on the wall. We'll just keep moving forward, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty much.
So Maya, this is actually your one of your first times acting on Zoom. How have you adapted to this format?
Yes, I've done just this is the first play performance. The other one I did was just a read through. I just think it's kind of funny listening to the other ladies talk about it, that in years from now, we're going to look back at this. This is like a historical moment. This is a new thing, a new format for everybody. And we're going to laugh at this and we're going to go, remember when we thought that was so hard? Now we do it all the time. I think it's an interesting combination of theater and film. Theater, because if you're live on Zoom and you make a mistake, oops. Also, if people forget to turn off their microphones when they're watching, funny things can happen. But then film, because again, you're not with the other person. You know, you're looking over here at the person, but they're not really there. So you're not having, like they say, you're not having that moment with that person where you really have to act that that person is there and feel them. You could put a stuffed animal there and pretend that that's your fellow actor. But yeah, so we definitely all miss that interaction. And like you say, you're working with this, so you can't get up, you can't move, you can't use your body. So it's talking heads, but it's an interesting new thing that we're all making history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's interesting, the whole Zoom thing. When we first started doing it, the whole attitude was, well, we have to settle for Zoom. There's nothing else, we have to settle for it. But I think as it's progressed through the year, obviously, you can't replace live entertainment. We're all just busting at the seams to get back to live theater. But instead of concentrating on the disadvantages of Zoom, I think in the last couple of productions, we've learned to take the advantages of Zoom, you know, the close up, the expressions you can get, making sure that whatever I wrote, that it could be communicated without a ton of blocking, that type of thing. And I think they've improved a lot of Zoom productions I've seen. Obviously, we all want to get back to it, but I think it's an art form in itself. And so I'm still happy to have the opportunity with it while it's going on. I really don't feel like we're just settling for it. I think we're creating something new and different, and then we'll dump it when we get back to live theater.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I totally agree with you, Barry. It's an art form of a different beast, so to speak. And for what it's worth, I know in the beginning I saw so much and it may not have been good, but over the course of the year, the evolution and the growth of theater on Zoom, or whatever we want, or Zoom acting or Zoom theater, it has changed and it's entertaining. It's like I'm watching a TV show from the computer. So it's like, it's not like, oh, it's a bad thing, but as all of us, we crave doing our art, and this is what we have and we used it. So I think it's the evolution of it. I think what Maya said about in 5 years, remember that. So I wish that now that the Maine is doing mostly recordings, I wish that we had recorded everything so that we can have it, because that's like something we can put in a time capsule in like 10 months, 10 years, 2 decades, 20 years. Wow, they did Zoom, and here's, you know what I'm saying? Because it may not come back to this extent. It may just be meetings, but it is what it is. So I appreciated having an outlet.
I'd also like to ask, since Calliope, you're one of the directors and also the interviewer,
Yeah.
so I'll become interviewer for one question and just
Okay, I
say,
may have a question or two
I'm
myself.
curious because yours is a very unique show. It's a one-man show, and it's a one-man show on Zoom. It's the first time I've written one like that. And I was excited that you were going to helm it, and Ryan being so wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your experience with doing that.
Yeah, I had so much fun. I really like one-person shows, and I've worked with Ryan Shrewsbury before. I've worked with him on so many different things, and he just brings so much to the table. He's so natural. He has brilliant ideas, and it's just so fun working with him. So yeah, my favorite part of doing one-person shows is like creating a full backstory for the characters. Like you get to spend more time on this one person's story, like discovering his childhood and his hopes and dreams and how he was brought up, and his situation. So that's my favorite part, like spending the first few rehearsals doing that. And I think it's really cool to like blend some of his experiences too. Like he has experience in customer service, and so he was able to bring that frame of mind into the character. And for this time, like I I had to learn something new too. I had to, because it's recorded, I had to add the sound effects after the fact. And so I had to like, blend both worlds of film and theater and, put the sound effects into the show, which is very new for me, but I'm so grateful to have learned how to do that. Because who knows, what we're going to need to do in the future. So that was really cool. But yeah, I had so much fun, and I love doing short pieces like this. I love being able to be creative, but not having to, put my whole self into a full-blown show right now. I love being able to take, like little pieces and doing short things throughout the year so that I can also, do this.
Well, I really, the Maine has taken the lead in providing a lot of these opportunities for this last year with the pandemic, with your international one you did, and just all the different ones. It's very innovative and keeping things going. So we're all grateful for everything the Maine is doing.
I have a question for Calliope. You have done this. Well, I have a question and a statement. You have done this for this past year, and I truly want to say the growth of you doing the interviews has just been so nice to watch, and I really enjoy that. And also, I wanted to say that I noticed that even the trend with the Maine is that you're not doing such long stuff. I think the time span on Zoom, it's shorter, so all the pieces are not very long, and you can do more because you're not doing these long pieces that something gets lost in translation. And I like that you've been doing that. Have you been interventional and be like, wait a minute, that's not working, let's change? How have you done that? Did you work at the Maine?
Yeah, the evolution of how we've run these festivals has really changed since the beginning. The very first time, it's like, we didn't even have webinar, and there were interruptions, and it was a whole thing. But now, we have the recorded pieces. I think every festival we add something new to make it easier, easier to be accessed, sorry. We make it easier for the actors, we make it easier for the production, we make it easier for us so that, our work is more streamlined. So, this new time, not this time, but for us it was 4, it's like instead of being on webinar, we're going to do them on YouTube. So everything is changing, everything is different, and it's so cool to be at the forefront of that, and making those changes and talking with the group to see what will be better in the future. But I've had just such a fun time, and I've gotten to, I've still gotten to work and maintain the relationships in our community and beyond, with all these groups, and I've absolutely loved doing that this year. Yeah. Okay. Oh, right. Okay, I'm gonna ask the next question. What'd you say?
Good point.
You can go back
I was
to
like,
interview
you
now.
and has spearheaded, and it's just changed so effortlessly. And I know you had to learn a lot.
Yeah.
I know, because everybody had to learn this whole Zoom thing, but it's nice to see that you guys have taken the reins and run with it.
Yeah.
Skills you'll definitely use in the future.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, definitely a steep learning curve, but I'm so proud of how far we've come. With all the stuff we're offering, and you're right. You're talking about like the shorter shows. I think that people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. I said we're able to offer content that is all right. It's going to be an hour. Here we go. But it's still a quality hour. We're still bringing it to so many people. So I love that. So Nancy, can you talk about Eclipse Theater LA? How have you continued to produce content from home, and what new things are coming up for you?
Well, I'm coming to you live from the Acropolis here. Yes, we've been lucky enough to still be able to provide content online, and we kind of come from years ago from sort of a Greek-based sort of background, doing a lot of Greek adaptations because it's free, and you can change it however you want, kind of, to tell the stories, which some of them are relevant now, if not even just thematically. So we've done some of our, funny Greek themes with ancient characters like Hera and Hercules. And this year, coming into 2021, we're changing up a little bit. We're still doing Greek themed sketches, but for example, Barry, the lovely Barry Agin, is writing for us a series called Love and War, which is Ares and Aphrodite living together here in modern times, and sort of like having to deal with modern issues and things like that. And it's Barry writing all over it. It's hilarious. It's a sitcom, so they're all super quick. They're all like 4 minutes, 5 minutes kind of thing. But we're having that filmed as we speak, and we'll edit that and have that ready to go up in April. And Marcus Langston, since he did a Zoom show for us earlier last year called Zoom Call for the Ages with Wade Bradford, with Jeremiah True and Mackenzie Bradford. And he played Hades, which I loved his take on Hades, which is the Lord of the Underworld. And a very sort of slick, trying to get in with the modern times, trying to be cool and hip. So he is writing Hades Inc., which is sort of Hades, again, in the modern world, trying to rebrand himself and rebrand Hades. And it's more of a workplace sitcom. And it's super hilarious. And he too is filming that. And other than that, we're continuing with Drunk Mythology, which we've got one coming up on Wednesday for something. Can't remember. Something's happening on Wednesday. Anyway,
For the Irish.
Yeah, it'll come to me. And oh yes, and our biggest thing, which we're really excited about, is Monocropolis, which is an original monologue competition. It's going to be cash prizes, and you've got till the 20th to give us your entry. And we're getting judges lined up for that, as well as going to be an audience award. So there will be, well, you'll see, I will inundate the Facebook and the Instagram with tons of information about that. But the one thing I like about that really quickly is I hope it inspires some actors who are not used to writing to try their hand at writing, since it has to be original, because we don't want to have to get sued for copyright. And then some of these actors are like, oh, I couldn't write anything. Somebody needs to give me a script. It's like, no, you can write something for yourself. All it takes is your imagination and maybe a little bit of life experience, and you can do this. And so I hope it inspires some actors to do that, to reach out.
Also, Eclipse Theater LA is our nonprofit partner in Theater in a Week this week. So there will be a link there. Everything is completely free for people to see it, but often people want to honor the cast person they're watching, or the theater process in itself. And there'll be a link there to make a donation anywhere from $1 to $5 million.
Yeah, sure.
So that will be available to link on and donate, and we're very happy to work with them.
We will rename the theater company after you if you give us $5 million. The Jeff Bezos Theater Company. Huh?
More zeros are better.
I wanted to say, I wrote something, Nancy, so
okay.
I'm going to submit. I wrote something. I try to dabble, and I think it's funny. So, and it's so funny when I was looking at different scripts, and I was looking at Barry's script that he sent me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I wrote it a while ago, but I'm going to do it too.
Well, and also
the dates, because I forgot.
Yeah, well, and also let me put out there too, we were going to actually put up a list of actor or writers. I didn't get to this because I want to encourage the actors to write for themselves, but I would love to maybe in the future be able to have a list of writers and a list of actors, so that if an actor says, I really want to do this, but I don't know what to write, I can say, hey, here's a list of writers out there who you may be able to do their work and spotlight their work and, run away with the cash prize. So maybe that will be something in the future that we do.
That'd be good. I think that would sound good, because they can see the actor and talk to them, and then, okay, I'm gonna write some for you.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be a fun collaboration.
Back and forth.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna have one in June, one in June, July, August, September, and then the grand finale in December. So you have more than one chance.
So when you do it in March, you don't find out if you won until September, or
no. You'll find out. Sorry, I'll call you, but no.
Okay. This is when we promote the stuff. It's gonna be
talk amongst yourselves. No, it's each of the 3 months we will have an audience winner and a judges winner. Those winners will go on to the grand finale in December. So you can enter more than once too. You can enter more than once, you can win more than once. But the trick is that if you're in the grand finale, it needs to be a new monologue. You can't come back with the same monologue. So again, it's really just about, get out there and create. Nothing is stopping you except your own imagination.
Okay, Barry, we're gonna have to talk.
Does anybody else want to talk about any projects coming up?
Maya, you've been pretty quiet. What you been up to?
I've been very creative painting rocks and putting them around the neighborhood.
Awesome.
Maya's also a very good photographer. She's taken my headshots quite a bit. So you need to put that out there. This is going to be out of. She's a great photographer. Look her up.
Not so much of that going on right now, but a little here and there.
But
It is amazing in the whole Santa Clarita community of actors that you suddenly peel the layer back, and there's so many talents, so many different talents for different artistic endeavors that we just have a very thriving artistic community here.
Yeah, and hey, if anybody needs any new headshots, if they've dyed their hair this year, they're gonna need new headshots for their resume. So contact Maya.
Yeah,
exactly. It's funny. I love to paint. I find it relaxing. I'm not very good at it, but I just love doing it. I need to go to, you decide to open a school and have me an easel so I can do it. Those sip and wine everybody's doing. If you're gonna do a sip and wine, let me know, because it's just like amazing. You see what the artists do, and you have all these people like, man, I know you are. Like, I just listen to the teacher. I need one of those mine.
Also, once everything starts opening up again, Nancy is doing a show, Sweet Surrender, and I'm directing Pride and Prejudice down the street at Canyon Theater Guild. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed when everything can open up and we can start entertaining the community again in person.
But hopefully it'll be real soon, because they open up a lot of stuff, but it specifically said theaters, not play theaters. So hopefully in a couple of months we'll be back, because you guys are so funny. I can't wait to see those shows.
I hope it's soon. Well, I think that's a perfect way to wrap up. I love all the collaboration. This is what we do in our Santa Clarita theater community. So thank you all so much, Barry, Nancy, Felicia, Maya. I mean, I've known y'all for such a long time, but it's lovely talking to you every single time. So thanks so much for being here. Thank you to our audiences who watch the MAINcast every week. So please tune in to Watch Theater in a Week, The Good, the Bad, and the Hungry, this Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. PST, with a talkback following the performance. Definitely be on Zoom for that so that you can participate in the talkback. And the new Zoom link, it's not the international Zoom link, it's a new Zoom link for the One Story, One City shows. That's going to be on our Facebook page. And of course, don't forget to check out the other events we have at the Main, including 10 by 10 food sessions and New Heights. So again, thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you on Friday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.